Hi, this is Dave with ElderTree, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use the trip planning page on the ElderTree website. To get to the trip planning page, you'll need to be on the ElderTree homepage, and over on the right side of that page you'll see this section called Just for Me. If you look down at the bottom, you'll see a link for trip planning. You can click or touch that link, and that will open up the trip planning page. And the trip planning page is where you can go to get directions to wherever you want to go. You can also check the current traffic conditions, and you can see if there is any upcoming or current maintenance issues on the roads, or if there even have been accidents that would potentially cause delays. So when you first go into the trip planning page, you'll see a map here on the right side. And that map is going to be centered on the area that you live in. So I live in Madison, so you'll see here the city of Madison. There's a couple of things I want to show you about this map. First is how to check traffic conditions. So if you look up here at the top of the page, you'll see this button that says Show Traffic. You can click on that. And then what it does is it shows you current traffic conditions by color. And so green means good, yellow means things are a little bit congested, and red means things are moving very slowly or very congested. The other thing you can see here are these little construction cones. And if you click on that cone, it will show you what the construction is in that area. So in this instance, there's some maintenance on I-39 northbound. Here's the start and the end date. So something that you might want to consider if you're planning a trip and you're going to need to go through that area. And then to close that, you can just click on that X. The other thing I wanted to show you on the map is how you can move the map or interact with it. And so over here on the left side, you'll see a plus sign and a minus sign. And you can use these by just clicking on them to zoom in, or if you do the minus, to zoom out. And then what you can do, so let's say I zoom in and I want to check out this traffic that's over on the South Beltline. So I can then, once I've zoomed in, you can see here my cursor is turned into a hand. If I click and drag, I can move the map to the location I want to look at. And so I can see here that where the slowdowns are. I can also use this little slider over here to zoom out by dragging it down, or I can click and drag it up, and that will zoom in. So now I'm getting really tight on this area. So if I want to get directions, what I do is come over to the left side, and there's three pieces of information that we need to collect. One is your start and end locations, or your start and your destination. Two, are you looking for public transportation or traveling by bus, or are you going to be traveling by car? And then the last is, do you want to know the route with the least left turns, or do you want to know the shortest route? And by default, the start address or location, we will use your home address, the address that you entered when you first signed up for ElderTree. If you're going to be traveling from a different start location, you'll need to change that, and so you'd click in that start text box, and then you can highlight by dragging, click and drag the content in there, and then you could just start typing the address that you're at. In this example, I'm just going to leave it at the address that's in there. And then what you'll need to do is enter in your destination. So I'll click once in that text box, which is underneath the destination number 1. And in this example, I want to travel to Miller Park in Milwaukee to go see a Brewers game. So I'm just going to type in Miller Park, and I'm going to put in Milwaukee. And you'll notice here, I don't know the actual street address of Miller Park, and I don't know the zip code. And that's okay. For destinations that are these kind of locations that should be fairly well known by name, so if it was an art museum, or if it's a library, or a park, something like that, you don't need to put in all the information. You can just put the name and the city, and usually Google will be able to tell where you want to go. It doesn't work all the time, but it does a pretty good job. If you're going to someone's home, then yes, you'll need to put in that actual address information. Another thing you can do is, let's say I had multiple stops, or I wanted to include the route coming back home. Well, what I could do is click here, add another destination, and I'm going to enter in the street address here in Madison. And so what that will do now is give me directions to Miller Park and directions back. The next piece of information here is, do I want to travel by car or by bus? And so if you live in an area that has public transit, you can click on bus and it will show you the available bus routes and their times. But in this situation, we're going to travel by car, so I'm going to leave that to car. And then the last piece of information we need to collect before we can get the route is whether or not we want to travel by least left turns or by the shortest route. And so in this example, I'm going to want to travel by the shortest route. So I'm going to click that, and then I'm going to click here on this green button at the bottom, Find My Route. And then a couple things happened, and so if we scroll back up to the top, you can see here the map has resized. And so we see now this blue line that shows us on the map what our route is going to be from Madison to Milwaukee. And actually what I'm going to do is right now I'm also showing the traffic. If you come up here, you can click on Hide Traffic, and that'll get rid of that so you can see this a little bit better. And so if I want to, I can zoom in, and it's going to be very precise in showing me those directions. So once I get into the Milwaukee area, you can see here it's actually showing me that, and I can even zoom in closer if I want to show me the exact route I'm going to take. The other thing that I wanted to show you is once you click on Find My Route, if you scroll down to the bottom, here you have those turn-by-turn directions. So it shows me my start location. It shows me how many miles it's going to be and approximately how long it would take me, and then the actual turn-by-turn directions. And then if I keep going, remember we also put in the return address, and so it's going to give us those directions coming back. So we have both of those directions. And then one last feature I want to show you is if you go back up to the top, if you have a printer, you can also click on Print, and it will print out those turn-by-turn directions for you. So a pretty useful feature. We'd encourage you to go into the trip planning page and play around a little bit, try it out, try clicking on those construction cones, try checking out traffic in your area, try putting in getting directions and seeing how close it is to how you would normally go to someplace. And we're always looking for your feedback. Please let us know if you find it useful, what you would like different. And you can do that by either sending me a private message at Dave_UW or by giving us a call at our toll-free line 1-800-480-9223. Thank you.